Everybody, welcome to my channel. I'm Creative Katie Karen Burchill. In today's video, I am going to take a napkin from NINNYSNAPKINS.com and use it to create a beautiful art journal page. So the napkin that I'm using is called Fireweed Wreath. It is a wreath napkin, and I've really struggled with using these. Even though I absolutely love the colors of this, using those wreath shapes, those circle shapes on art journal pages have been somewhat challenging. But today I decided to take up the challenge. So I rough cut the wreaths out. And I tried them on my different size art journal pages, and nothing really worked. But then I thought, well, what if I don't leave them as circles? That will open up some other opportunities. So what you really need to do is stop seeing them as a circle, stop seeing them as a wreath, and start looking at them as elements that you can use to create whatever composition you want. So I grab my scissors and I am cutting. And they say the first cut is the hardest, but be brave. So once I cut it off, then I'm able to lay it on my art journal page. Now, my art journal here is a rather odd shape. It is a half-size composition book, and it measures about 15 inches across and 5 inches tall. So if I cut that out, I could do one over here and one at the end. Maybe I can do something a little bit more interesting. So I grab another one of those wreaths. You get 4 with each napkin. And there's nothing you can do when you cut that you can't undo by just gluing it back together, decoupaging it, piecing it together. Now, when I'm cutting it, I like to keep all 3 layers intact. It just makes it easier to cut. We'll take off those layers in a bit. So if I have one going that way, I can make the other swoop go this way. That makes for some interest on them. What if I put some of these crazy birds in here? Now, I could have put a butterfly or a dragonfly or a hummingbird. I thought these add a little bit of whimsy. One on this side, one on that side. They're kind of looking at each other. Now, if I want this to go up higher, I can cut a piece of that flower off that piece and piece it together. No one will be the wiser. So now we have the basic plan. So let's continue preparing the napkin. Remember I said that there are 3 layers. Well, you need to peel off the 2 excess layers. You don't want to glue those on. So peel 1, then 2 layers. And when you do this, you even get a better idea of how it fits on your page. So this is basically where I think I'm going. Now I want to remove as much of that excess napkin as I can. I know it's white, and when I decoupage it on with fluid matte medium, it will go completely transparent, but I like to remove the bulk. And I like to get a deckled edge that you get by water cutting it, putting a little bit of water on a liner brush, and it just kind of melts away. You can use scissors if that's what you prefer. This is just my preferred way of doing it. And I try to get as much of it as I want. And as I said, you remove, you know, as much as you can. It limits the bulk. And when you glue it down, because of the deckled edge, you can't really see where the page ends and the napkin begins. Lovely. I think that looks quite adorable. And I'm going to do the same with the other one. Now I could put them, I've kind of made a swirl this way, another composition. I can go upside down, my original idea. I'm playing with it. I'm fine-tuning my plan. You can kind of put them in here. So there are many possibilities, and there are no absolutely right or wrong answers. And then in the middle, I can put my sentiment, or I could put a sentiment on each half page. So decision made, I'm gluing down the napkin. I put a coat of fluid matte medium underneath and then a coat on top. This part of the video is sped up, but you want to be gentle when you put the fluid matte medium on top of the napkin because the napkin gets very fragile when it gets wet. Got one part done, now I'm just going to do the other part. With most of the napkins, they tend to get brighter when you glue them down. Now I glued this down onto the composition page that has a coat of gesso on it. But that's all I've done so far in the background. I want to add some text, so I have this stamp, and I love the swirls and the size of this. I'm going to fill in the background. And I'm not too worried if some of this goes over the decoupage napkin part. At first I tried to make that not happen, but it really didn't matter. Once I have enough script stamp on there on the background, I give it a quick dry before I move to the next step. And here I am adding some unbleached titanium and white gesso. I'm keeping it very, very light. And as I go do this, it is knocking back some of that script. If I put more layers on, you can almost obliterate the script, or just a light coat, which just softens it. And I can play with that. I want to keep the background very, very light. And I do want interest in it. So we see the script stamp, and we're going to add a few more details to that background. And I am not fussing about how I'm putting this down right now. It's just easy peasy. No problems. So there is the page, and I am quite happy with where it's gone. Close-ups, I just really like the whimsy of adding the crazy birds to what is a very romantic old English style. So now I'm going to use some stencil butters in the color driftwood and sage and this screen view stencil. This one, Knitted Things, also works. They're both about the same scale, very general, very good, solid stencils that you would get a lot of use out, very non-specific. But instead of putting it through the stencil with a palette knife, I'm going to stencil it with a stencil brush. This is giving me a little bit of texture, but not too much. This book is getting very bulky and I want to minimize that, but I do want some texture. Now, stencil butters are iridescent, pearlized, and I love the effect they give. This is the first time I've used this combination, driftwood and sage, and I love it. Most times when I use my stencil butters, I do use two tones, and you get another mix in there. If I want to put more, I'm just replacing the stencil where it fits in and just extending it. So it's kind of a little bit of trial and error here. I can put more or less, and that will give me greater or less texture. I'm being mindful of where I'm going to put those crazy birds. because I don't want to put too much texture underneath where I'm putting them, but I do want to add some interest. And I'm really quite happy with this color combo and the background here. Now again, the stenciling that I'm doing here is knocking back anything beneath it. So the text stamp, the script stamp. And I'm adjusting as I go. You just start. How does it look? Add some more. How does it look? Back and forth. Putting in the second part of the focal image and just seeing how does it look? Do I want to add some more? And yes, I did. I wanted to add a little bit in this, in here. It just seemed to be an empty space that looked odd, and extend it up here. So I guess the secret to using wreath napkins, and there are a lot of them, is to stop thinking them as wreath napkins. Cut them apart and then play with where you can put them. And then at the last minute here, I decided to put this crazy bird in a different place. I just thought, "Oh, that'd be kind of cute if it was just at the tippy top here." So always go with, a new idea. This is my short and sweet digital sentiment pack. It's available for purchase at NINNYSNAPKINS.com, where you get this lovely fireweed wreath napkin. The short and sweet sentiment pack has phrases 2 to 4 words long in different fonts. Perfect for this size art journal page, but because they're digital, you can blow them up with a printer or the settings of on your computer or Word program. So I could put choose love, love wins, or let's look at some of these other ones. I like this one, lift your spirit. So instead of two sentiments, which is where I was going or where I think I was going, I opted to just put one in the middle. Go with the flow. And as always, with the digital sentiments, you can cut them apart and arrange them however best fits your composition. And I'm gluing that down with gel medium, matte medium. I'm covering up the birds and I'm splattering with some purple paint that I've thinned down. And then I'm going to splatter with some quinacridone magenta or quinacridone violet, I think it is. The colors that are in the wreath flowers. I grab my Inktense blocks and I am going to use colors that I match to the colors in the napkin. I mix it with water and I can give it a wash of color just to deepen the color. And then I mix a little bit of gesso in with it as well. This makes it look very painterly and it looks less like something that you just glued down and more like something that you actually hand painted. In a minute, when I do the purple flowers, you'll get a better view, a more close-up view of this process. I'm just deepening the colors, making it look more painterly. So I'm matching it to the purple and I'm getting a little bit of that color, testing it out on a piece of paper, put it on my silicone mat, water it down, and I can use it as a wash or I'm going to mix it with gesso. And I'm just kind of dropping the color in. I'm not even trying to paint it perfectly. There I'm putting in gesso, it's lightening, adding some highlights. Now I'm shading or edging the page. This is black acrylic paint. I'm using my angle brush and I'm shading it. This frames the art journal page. You can always go over it a couple times to create the depth of color that you want. Now I'm putting a little bit of shading on the birds. I've opted not to colorize the birds. I want the flowers to be the main color, but adding that little bit of shading with black really makes the birds stand out. Would you have colored the birds? And if so, what color would you make them? And then I'm shading around the sentiment as well. And because I didn't quite like the shading as it was, I decided to grab my black Posca pen and outline the sentiment as well. And I'm adding some black dots in the centers of the flowers. This really, in real life, made a huge difference. Now putting gold in there. What do you think of that idea? And there we have the finished page. Look at that shimmer and shine from those stencil butters. I love how I ended up using this wreath napkin. Now this would make a perfect card with a sentiment. I've got 2 more circles plus another whole napkin. So I've got 6 more circles. So I definitely will be using this napkin again, but not as a wreath. So I've got 1 napkin left and 2 pieces from that one and a few extra pieces. I'm going to tuck this in the page protector in my binder and I'll live to create another day. So there's the before and after. What do you think of this page? What parts of this page will you try to duplicate on your next art journal page? Let me know in the comment section below.